Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at the 2022 Senate ratings at a glance. Of course, it's only 2020, but this is an early look into the Senate ratings. So I'll be using Sabato Crystal Ball for many of my projections. They do list a lot of competitive states here, or that's the non-competitive states. They list potentially competitive states here. So we're going to start with the likely states, because I've already outlined the safe states. So the only likely state I would characterize for the Democrats is Nevada, basically. That would be really the only likely state. A lot of people like to put Vermont, which you could, but I would actually say that's lean considering, or sorry, that's New Hampshire. I would actually say that's lean, actually considering Chris Sununu and how he could win, and that could really impact the course of the election, even though New Hampshire did vote for Joe Biden by a likely margin. So that's the only likely state for the Democrats that I would say. I would say we have Vermont as a lean state, but to be honest, you could really say that's a likely state. I wouldn't be mad at you, but I would say lean for now just because Chris Sununu's potential run, but it is early on in it's not even election season yet, so we will see. Next lean state for the Democrats, I would say, is Arizona. Arizona, this is, I believe, whose seat? Not Kristen Sinema. I think this is McCain's old seat, where Martha McSally currently is appointed to. I think she's still in that seat for now. Also, sorry, I think Hawaii I was meant to put as a safe state. Okay, so the rest, there's the runoff election seat. It doesn't really matter if Kelly Loeffler wins, because her seat is up for re-election, if she does win, or if Warnock wins. Either way, it's up for re-election. But I think this one I'll categorize as David Perdue, as a David Perdue win, just because that looks like how it's actually going to go right now. It is leaning towards David Perdue. So next, I would say likely for the Republicans, Florida. I know a lot of people like to put that as lean, but to be honest, Florida has shown that despite numerous attempts at polling, it is so unpredictable. Generally favoring the Republicans, though, because at least in Florida, I believe 2018 or 2016, the one where Ron DeSantis and as governor, he wasn't expected to win, he won, and also the senator in that state, they weren't favored to win, they won. So I would say I was gonna say most people like to put as lean, so I'll put it as likely just because it's most likely to happen. Next one, I believe it might have been North Carolina. Let's look. So this is not competitive. The only competitive ones are Florida, Ohio, Colorado, which I already characterized as safe states. I know there are retiring incumbents for the Republicans in Pennsylvania and North Carolina, I believe, or maybe just Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, which I actually meant to put as lean for the Republicans, because Wisconsin could be potentially competitive. Remember, it's the Rust Belt, so but I generally think this is going to favor this map should favor the Democrats in a normal year, but this is an incumbent Democrat year, which means it would normally be wave Republican. So I would say Pennsylvania and North Carolina just for now. I know a lot of people put them in likely, but it is at a glance. There really could be strong Democratic candidates. But I'm just going to put as lean as, like, you could put it as likely, but I'm putting it as lean, basically saying this could go either way depending on who's running on the Democratic side. If it's a very horrible opponent, it would be more like safe or likely. But if it ends up being an actual good Democratic opponent that puts up a challenge, I would say that we should just put it as lean for now. Now, Georgia. Now, actually, for Georgia, I would either put as tilt Republican or tilt Democrat. And that is generally because Kelly Loeffler, if she wins the seat, she is going to be up for re-election in 2022. And even now, she lost. Not lost in terms of the runoff. We still have a runoff in January, but she lost to Raphael Warnock. And you could say, yeah, well, there was 2 Republicans, but even the other Republican, I forgot his name, I think it was Collins something, he only got 20%. She got, 25, 26%, I believe. That's not enough to win. That's only like 45%, 45%. And then we have Warnock, and she is painting him to be a radical candidate, and he's painting her to be not a unstable candidate. But to be honest, it really could go either way. That's why I would say David Perdue is most likely to win, but Kelly Loeffler, she does have a challenge ahead of her. So I will say Georgia is the one that I really couldn't give you a straight characterization, because Kelly Loeffler is going to be up in re-election, and Georgia is actually becoming way more Democratic. If you look at the 2020 election, basically it was, at least in the House, House and Senate, it was pretty good for the Republicans, except in Georgia. In Georgia, there's 2 runoffs because Kelly Loeffler, basically, she was competitive against a Democrat candidate, and it's also because David Perdue was under 50%, which if you actually take how Susan Collins won by 9% in Maine, in Georgia, you would be able to say, well, why didn't David Perdue get over 50% if the Republican in Maine is winning 9% when in the polls she was expected to lose by 5%? And that's because Georgia is just becoming more Democratic. It went to Joe Biden in the presidential election. In the Senate, both of them went to runoffs. In the House, there was a lot of competitive House seats that normally in all the other states, all that really competitive House seats went to the Republicans. But if you look at the list, the one, I believe one competitive House seat in Georgia, it went to the Democrats, and it really could have gone either way. And in this election, the ones that could have gone either way went to the Republicans, but they went to the Democrats in Georgia. So I couldn't give you a characterization, but if you forced me to, I would say tilt Democratic, just because Kelly Loeffler in Georgia in general is shifting their demographics, or at least in more people are voting that are of minorities and are that in Atlanta. So generally everything was good for the Democrats except for a few states like Georgia, Arizona. It was good for the Republicans except for Georgia and Arizona on this House and Senate levels. So that is mainly my projection right now. If you really wanted me to, do something, I would say Pennsylvania could be characterized as likely, and North Carolina, but I would say they're lean just because we don't really know where it's going. So thank you for watching my 2022 Senate projections. Bye. Like and subscribe.